Another very important element in the Nigerian tourism sector is the National Theatre, built in 1976 in preparation for the Festival of Art and Culture, FESTAC, in 1977. The National Arts Theatre, with its exterior shaped like a military hat, while the interior features a 5,000-seater main hall with collapsible stage, all of this equipped to house various forms of arts, including performance. However, artists are not happy with its management so far.
We think the National Theatre is in the state that it is because of a failure of management on the part of the federal government. That has to be addressed. You have the J.F. Kennedy Center in New York, you have the Barbican in London. Those venues are run by one man. Thing is, that man must have the requisite skills of cultural programming and of resource mobilization to work. If you go and if you keep making political appointments into positions in federal institutions that require the highest level of professionalism, this is what you're going to be getting.
Channels Television made several attempts to speak to the Director General of the National Theatre as well as the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, but both have declined to speak on camera. Over the years, the management of the monument has been subject to discussions. Now it seems the government has made up its mind on what to do to revive the edifice.
In respect of the National Theatre, we have decided that we are going to concession the development of the fallow areas, not the National Theatre itself. And from whatever we take as the owners, we want to renovate, rehabilitate the main bowl of the National Theatre, make the National Theatre much more attractive, make it the hub of all the creative industry in the country.
But the artists are not very comfortable with the part of the government's plan.
For us here, if you're going to concession it, if that's the way it has to go, you've got to carry us along as stakeholders. You can't tell us what's best for us without checking from us what our needs are. Yeah, you can do that. And that's what they're attempting to do with that concessioning. And I, personally, and professionally, I don't agree with that, with that process. If that's the way it's going to go ultimately, then you got to carry us along and see where we fit in. No, we're a key part of the creative sector, of the creative economy in Nigeria. You got to carry us along.
The policy from the National Council for Arts and Culture created a place which could be described as a production room for content to be displayed in the theatre, the Artists' Village.
When the federal capital relocated, the headquarters of the National Council for Arts and Culture moved to Abuja. So some of the administrative offices, some of the property was lying fallow. And that was what precipitated that policy from the NCAC to subsidize accommodation for up-and-coming artists, for young creative people, to promote self-reliance, and build their capacity to survive their harsh economic environment. The Artists' Village contains about 52 arts organizations in all art forms and across all media. That means we have dancers, actors, musicians, visual artists, including painters, sculptors, those who do installation art. We have the plastic arts, as in video and photography. We have the literary arts, the script writing Guild of Nigeria, which is a part of Nollywood. They're here. The Directors Guild of Nigeria, their offices are here. We have notable producers and directors. So it is a creative hub.
One of of those who have taken advantage of the help is a group of individuals who make up the Gumbas Dance Ensemble.
This is where we live. This is where everybody, all the whole artists in Nigeria being. So we actually live in here, working here. This is where we earn our own daily bread. People outside come here to come and call us to come outside to come and perform, and that's just it.
Well, is this place supposed to be where you live or where you just come and rehearse?
Yeah, we actually, since we're artists, the soldier stays in barracks, and since we're artists, we don't really need to be outside somewhere. We think this is the place we are working, and anytime they need us, this is the place they come to. So we should be living where we're working. So even if you want to have a home outside the job, at least it should be something else. But we think we should be living where we're working, so that whenever they need us, they come straight to where we're supposed to be, and they come and get us there.
Oyebanji says they rehearse every weekday from about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., a necessary act to perfect the performance. The Dugumbas Dance Ensemble is, however, not the only product of the artist village.
The top choreographers in Nigeria are here. Ijodi Olorioko, Dance Ode, Justin Azirium, who won the Mnet Let's Dance thing a few years ago, big African thing. And you can see our work here outside, because this community services the local market. So all the promoters, the venue-based promoters that you find in Lagos, I'd confidently say 80% of the content of their work comes from here. The big events that happen in Abuja, in the country, Lagos, the biggest events, it's our choreographers, it's our dancers. We're strong. It's like a university of life for artists. It's a grooming, it's a laboratory. We're strong on production, very skills-based, but we're weak on promotion. That's why the world has not heard so much about us.
This hub of creative art didn't look so calm and quiet on the 23rd of January as the artists woke up to sound of tractors and demolition of some of the structures in the village. And in a few hours, the village had a different look and emotions running high.
I'm not a criminal, I'm an artist, for crying out loud.
Wow. I've been calling my...
Look, madam, you guys should take me to the hospital, please. Do you want me to die here? Okay. Smart.
We went for a friend's birthday on Friday night, so we came back very late. And so we were forced not to go home, but to sleep here. And I just heard boom, boom, like 5 a.m. in the morning, And I woke up with the fear, and I just took my pajamas and ran out, only just to see caterpillar destroying everything. And for me, it's like a daydream. I couldn't get out of it throughout yesterday. It was horrible. It was terrible. I mean, gunshots, the police maltreating us, for ACT is a proper, I wouldn't say a disgrace, but it's like, it's like someone pointing fingers into the eyes of artists.
Kingsley Agubom, a visual artist who operates here, wasn't lucky enough to come out unscathed.
That day, I was not supposed to be in office. Somebody called me that he was waiting for me in office, a client. So I rushed to the office that morning. Getting to the gate, I saw a lot of police officers and their vehicles. I was surprised because there was no notice. I did not get any information that I would meet such people in the territory. So I was even scared. Artists were outside too, coming out with the people that destroyed the artist village. So I was asking one of the officers what was happening. Just that, I started hearing gunshots. People were running helter-skelter, and I had to find a way to escape, In that process, man, a lot of people were pushing, and I can't even know what if the officer or the people, the artist, I don't know, but what I just saw myself injured, because I wasn't expecting such people in that territory.
According to the artist, they learned that the order for the demolition was given by the Minister of Information and Culture to the Director General of the National Theatre to rid the area of shanties which house unscrupulous characters in the area, and these are located along the canal which is behind the village and not be a workshop. The minister, in reaction to the incident, has visited to see for himself. He was taken round the village and came face to face with some leading names in the industry who operate from the artist village and victims of the incident.
I pointed out the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
But my main mission then was to calm nerves and ensure that the situation does not get ugly. But when I left then, I did ask Mr. Bayemi to please let me have a formal petition or a formal complaint that those who came to demolish actually went beyond the call of duty. Well, I waited patiently and I've not received it. But then of course this story will not die. And that's why I decided to come today. Now let me assure you, the artist village is here to stay.
Thank you, sir.
And it's unfortunate that I'm visiting the artist village under these very rather, unpleasant circumstances. It was one of the places that we set out to visit originally. Now, I think the artist village, to advise that, is underdeveloped, and the government needs to do much more in promoting and upgrading the artist village.
And so now the artists await the performance of the promises of the minister, and Nigerians as a whole await other promises, such as development of the potentials in the sites and festivals for revenue generation as well as employment from the non-oil sector. Thank you for watching. I'm Ini Thompson.